Welcome to Trapdoor Woodworks Shop Build Update number 9. As you can clearly see, I got a good chunk of the ceiling installed already. There was problems right here because I'm going through 2 sheets of metal with these self-tapping screws. In a couple of places, it kind of shifted after I got through the first layer, and it made the panel uneven. So I pulled the screws. I'm going to re-screw that, and when I'm done, it'll be nice and tight, just like these. You can also see that I got the panels up and over the garage door tracks, and I took the hardware off. The hardware is right here, and I think the rest of it's up on top of the scaffolding there. I have some dimensions here, and I also have some hash marks on the panels there. So using the hash marks, I should be able to locate it exactly where it was before, drill right through the panels. Luckily, it landed right on a flat part, so I can put this part right here will go right on a flat part. I was real worried that this was going to land on a rib and I would have to do all kinds of nonsense to get it to fit, but it should be fairly easy. You can also see that I had to make the cuts for this box out for the spring here, and I had to trim the edge of that panel right there. That's all in the videos on Planet Mojo, so you can go there if you want to see that. And before I installed this panel, I measured from the edge of the existing panel over to a plumb bob that I dropped down to the knockout on top of this service entrance panel. So I have the exact location of the conduit that's going to go up, and this big old wire here is going to be stuffed down into that. I'll go show you that up above in just a second, but first, while the ladder's right here, we'll go up there and take a look at the insulation. Pretty sweet. So now what I'm doing is, as soon as I install a row, I tape up all the seams and foam the edges. I foam the edges on this right after I put it in. What I'm doing is using the tin as a vapor barrier instead of using plastic and then tin, which is going to cause a vapor barrier sandwich. You could see the video on that if you want to know what I'm talking about. It's pretty involved, so I'm not going to repeat it here. So basically, as I'm moving along, I'm taping up the seams and then adding the insulation. I'm also adding these depth markers. That shows how deep the blown-in insulation is going to be. And I have lines on the back wall over there, and I'm going to be putting them on these trusses here as well. That shows the depth of the blown-in insulation. I'm not real sure how well you're going to be able to see it from here, but I'll show it to you again over when we go look at that electric hole. But on top of the R19 insulation right at the edge, we have R30 insulation, and then on top of that we have R19 insulation again. And what that's for is when I crawl out here, I'm going to have a board actually right over this joist right here. I'm going to crawl out here with the nozzle to blow in the insulation, and I'm just going to blow it right up against that. And once it's up to the top of the R30 insulation, that's as deep as it needs to go. That way I don't have to put baffles or anything in the ends there for the air to come up. I'm just using all that insulation as a baffle. There's my hole for the conduit right there. What I'm going to do is poke that wire down through here, slide the conduit up over the wire, and poke the conduit through that hole. Then when it comes time to hook it up to the box, I can peel the covering off the conduit, get it into the box, and it will lift up and down through this hole because it's just through a hole in the insulation up here. I hope that makes sense. What I'm going to do is just take this cable and push it down through the hole in the fiberglass there, down through the hole in the tin, and when I'm hooking it up to the box, I can lift it up and down and it's not really going to do anything up here. It's just going to lift this big cable up and down. And here's that R30. Once I get that done, I'm going to put this R30 all the way to the edge here and the R19 on top. When I blow in the insulation is going to be about this deep. So what this is doing is not only is it insulation, but it's stopping the blow-in insulation from plugging up the vents over there. I explain all this stuff much better in the actual videos when I'm doing it. So if you want to know more about that, go to Planet Mojo and look at the metal ceiling install playlist. That's got all this stuff in it. So first thing tomorrow, I'm going to poke that cable through there. Then I'm going to get this fixed, and then I'm going to rehook up all this garage door hardware. And once I'm done with that, I can go up there, get that all taped up, and add the next row of insulation. Then, once that's done, the next 3 panels are full panels. There's no cuts or anything, so they should go fairly quick, except that I got to move all this stuff back here, but I don't really care about that. Once the 3rd panel's in place, I can install the furnace, and then when we get to the next panel after that, the 4th panel, that's going to have an obstacle with the propane line there. But once that's done, I can hook up the propane to the furnace, get the propane people out here. They have to test the system again. So with any luck, we'll have heat out here by the next update. We're moving along pretty quick now. If you want to see the updates on it, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. That way you'll get notification when I post the new videos, which generally come out on Sundays. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you back here next Sunday.